and your team that whatever you say before this committee cannot be used against you, as long as you give factual information. However, if you willfully choose to mislead this committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. It is the belief of this committee that you will not go the latter way, but to give us factual information that will help us come up with a good report that we present before Madam Speaker in the main house. With that said, Council Secretary, we want to thank you for enduring the time. This is the spirit. However, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself and also allow members of your management team to do the same.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Chair. Good evening, honorable members of this committee. I'm Wansamumba David, Council Secretary for Chadiza Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorables. I'm Samapimbi Mnae, Director Engineering, Chadiza Town Council. Thank you.
Is it afternoon or evening? It's still afternoon. Okay.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ansela Mlengachunga, Director Planning, Chadiza. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of this honorable committee. My name is Crispin Sakala, Director Finance. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorables. My name is Sakala Geoffrey, Procurement Officer, Chadiza Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon.
Sorry, my director. These are flexible mics. You can pull them closer to you and they have the piece to maneuver around with it. We are live on TV and radio, so we'd like to pick you clearly. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorables. My name's Gority Sakala Ngoma, Council Advocate, Chadiza Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of this honorable committee. My name is Karimbanya Ernest. I'm the Director, Human Resource and Administration. Thank you.
Good morning. Good evening, Chair. Good morning. Good evening, honorable members.
Be calm, my brother. Be calm. This is your committee.
Yes.
Don't worry. We are here to interact. This is afternoon. Don't worry.
Oh, sorry. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, here, Chair. Yeah. Good. Sir. Honorable.
Okay, whatever it is.
All right. Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. My name is Pex Chavinga, Internal Auditor, Chadiza Town Council.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chavinga. Auditor General's Office. The height doesn't indicate. Okay, on a lighter note, Auditor General's Office.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, CS and your team. Good afternoon to other witnesses. My name is Mashao Gabriel. I'm the Director from Eastern Provincial Audit Office. I've come with a team who I would wish to ask them to introduce themselves. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of this committee. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Munalula Njovu, Principal Auditor, Chipata Audit Office.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama. I'm the Parliamentary Liaison Officer, Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon. I'm Lovinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you. Afternoon, Chair, and afternoon, everyone. My name is Mumbasaka from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Office of the Accountant General. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. Good afternoon, Chadiza. My name is Achubia Davis, Assistant Director, Local Authorities Department, Ministry of Finance, National Planning, Audit Division, and you're welcome.
Thank you, Chairperson, and your honorable members of your committee. Chadiza Town Council, you're welcome. I'm Kazinga Kennedy from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Chadiza Town Council, good afternoon and welcome. I'm Martin Kapenda from the Local Government Service Commission.
Thank you. Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. My name is Maxwell Chireka from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk.
Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Good evening, Chair in Osaka, and good evening, Chadiza Town Council. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petoke District of the Eastern Province. You're most welcome to your committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Chadiza, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, everyone else. I'm Mwene Lohamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you.
So, Vonga.
Chair, good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. Chadiza Town Council. Afternoon, colleagues. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, the member of this committee. Chair, thank you.
Mufumbwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon, our permanent witnesses, and from the Office of the Clerk, I greet you. Good afternoon, Chadiza, and my honorable colleagues. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm a Member of Parliament for Mufumbwe constituency. Thank you.
The Vice Chair.
Chair, good evening to you and the honorable members. Good evening to our permanent witness. Good evening to Chadiza Town Council. Christopher Shakafuswa is my name. I represent the good people of Mandevu, and you are in Mandevu constituency. Air condition. When you go to the other part, we have other challenges, but this is the good part about Mandevu. So you're welcome to Mandevu constituency. I'm the Vice Chairperson of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose, representing the wonderful people of CHASEFU constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair this committee, your committee. CS, once again, I warmly welcome you and appeal to you that you are not appearing in court. You are just here to help us answer the queries that were raised by Auditor General, and you will note that we shall be reading from your report, not our own creation, but your report as to what happened in the administration of the enhanced CDF. The people of Chadiza, it's Chadiza, not Chadiza. Chadiza, as Amanzai, it's Chadiza. So are they seeing the benefits of the enhanced CDF, and are we administering it accordingly? With that said, I would like to ask you, CS, to take us through your memorandum. As a matter of guidance, you read the query. For instance, if you go to page 3, you have put your report in a table form. You read Community Projects 2022. Isn't that the first one, isn't it? So when you read that one, now you take us to the management response, action taken, then remedial measure. You read the query so that the people who are listening and watching, they are able to say, what are you talking about? The query is Community Projects 2022. Then you say what happened as The query is on the management response, then action taken, then remedial measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, can I be allowed to make one correction on page 16?
The other issue is as a preliminary issue, page 7.
Page 16.
Okay, you want to make an amendment on page 16?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
On the action taken, management wishes to state that measures have been put in place to ensure that payment for soft loans are paid within their payment period, and all beneficiaries were paid in full. And all beneficiaries were paid in full. Full stop.
Okay. We have included that. What else?
Can I proceed, Chair, to read the report?
Yes, you can.
Thank you, Chair. On our specific audit findings, Chair, stored works 2022 community projects. We go straight to page 5, management response. Cause of the query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on stored works 2022 projects, which reviewed that works related to construction of girls' dormitory at Kalimba Day Secondary School had stalled. Chair, management wishes to state that the project stalling for 17 months was owing to an extension on the initial contract due to the project site being inaccessible during rain season, which in turn, Chair, led to the contractor taking possession of site on 17th April 2023. That is 3 months later. The contractor worked only for a period of 3 months, 2 weeks, and hence a notice to rectify errors was issued, which led to the termination because the contractor failed to rectify errors within the given 28 days. The council initiated liquidated damages during the period after the contract elapsed before termination, which ran for a maximum of 20 days, and therefore proceeded with the termination process by issuing a second notice after 14 days and terminated contract within 28 days. Further, management wishes to state that the contract was re-advertised and the advert ran for 28 days, after which the contract was awarded to a new contractor for a period of 4 months to have the project completed. Chair, action taken. Management wishes to state that the council has completed the construction of the girls' dormitories and it has been handed over to the end users. Further, management wishes to state that the council had considered the liquidated damages during the calculation of the final account under liabilities on the management sheet. Chair, we can refer to Appendix 1. On our remedial measure, management will endeavor to complete projects within the project time frame. Further, management will continuously engage contractors on the timely completion of projects. B, community projects 2023. Chair, delayed completion of 2023 CDF projects. We proceed. We go to page 6 on the management responses. Name of the project there, Chair. Project 1, installation of street lights. Cause of query: the implementation of the project delayed due to the change of project from procurement of an ambulance, which was going to be centrally done, to the installation of street lighting, which was approved in December 2023. The project was advertised for 21 days with restriction to locals, that is CHADIZA domiciled contractors, but later failed due to non-response. The project was then re-advertised for 28 days, restricting to Eastern Province local contractors, where a contract whose duration was for 8 weeks was finally awarded. Further, the contract underwent an extension of an additional 5 weeks to the initial contract due to change in technical specifications in the type of solar bulbs from 300 watts to 500 watts. The bulbs were not available on the market to grant completion within the contract period. The action taken, Chair, management wishes to state that the project has been completed. We can refer to Appendix 2. Project 2, installation of a water scheme at Ngala Health Post. Management wishes to state that the project delaying for 2 months was owing to an extension on the initial contract duration due to the project site not being accessible. The project site is located in a far-flung area where the road is very bad. The local authority, in collaboration with the community, worked on some sections of the road. This led to the delay in project completion, as the contractor only took possession of site 2 months after signing the contract. Chair, management wishes to state that the project has been completed, and we can refer to Appendix 2. Project 3, construction of staff house at Chamandala Primary School. Management wishes to state that the project delayed for 3 weeks due to an extension on the initial contract as a result of poor workmanship by the contractor. This led to the contractor redoing works at slab level and hence having an effect on the project completion period. On the action taken, Chair, the management wishes to state that the project has been completed. We can also refer this one to Appendix 2. Our remedial measure: management will endeavor to complete projects within the project time frame. Further, management will continuously engage on the timely completion of projects. Construction of Chief's Palace.
A matter of guidance, sorry, I could have alerted you. You can skip this one.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we go straight to page 8, management of soft loans, delayed loan repayments. Chair, for the loan beneficiaries who received amounts totaling 318,297 had not started paying their loans for a delayed period of 5 months. after the funds were disbursed. The council did not charge the penalty for delayed loan repayment. Chair, the management response on the cause of the query. The management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on management of soft loans, delayed loan repayments for 4 months for 4 beneficiaries. Further, management wishes to state that the 2% penalty could not be effected at the time of audit, as there were no money in the beneficiaries' respective loan accounts. Chair, the action taken here, management wishes to state that the council had written to 4 beneficiaries, reminding them on the consequences of not remitting their monthly loan repayments to the bank. Further, management wishes to state that the 4 beneficiaries have started paying back their loan. We can refer this to Appendix 4. Remedial measure. Management will continue monitoring and reminding the beneficiaries so that they comply and make timely loan repayments as enshrined in the CHASEFU guidelines. Chair, we move on to cross-cutting issues. Appendix 1, budget, funding and expenditure. Management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on funds retained by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development amounting to 1,052,432 kwacha. Management wishes to state that the funds meant for the constructions of Chief Mwangala's Palace and insurance cover for the two motor vehicles which were procured centrally, that is the CDF monitoring and the police vehicle, were deducted at source by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to state that out of the total deducted funds amounting to 1,052,432 kwacha, an amount of 936,751 kwacha was for the construction of Chief Mwangala's Palace, while the remaining 115,681 kwacha was for the insurance cover for 2 motor vehicles which were procured centrally. That is the CDF monitoring and the police vehicle. We can refer to Appendix 5, Chair. Then retained for Chief's Palace. This is Appendix 1.1. Cause of query.
I think you can skip that one since it is.
Thank you, Chair.
Same as the one on page 7.
Thank you, Chair. We move on to Appendix 2, total unspent funds. Management response. Cause of the query here, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on the unspent funds amounting to 24,259,724 kwacha. Management wishes to state that part of the unspent funds amounting to 19.4 million 86,558 kwacha 84 ngwe were received towards the end of the year 2023 as follows. 5 million kwacha was received on 6th October 2023. 8.6 million 25,088 kwacha 92 ngwe was received on 14th November 2023. 5.8 million 61,496 kwacha 92 ngwe was received on 29 December 2023. Further, a total amount of 271,344 kwacha was accrued as interest in the CDF revolving fund account, while a total of 516,733 kwacha was accrued as interest in the main CDF account, bringing the combined interest to 788,077 kwacha. However, 4.7 million 73,165 kwacha 16 ngwe was already in the account as committed funds. Action taken. Management wishes to state that out of the unspent funds totaling to 24,259,724 kwacha, a total of 23,640,331 kwacha 15 ngwe has been spent on all CDF components, while the remaining funds amounting to 619,392 kwacha 85 ngwe were savings from various CDF components as shown in the table below. Chair, the savings were carried forward to 2024 and part of the funds have been spent. We can refer this to Appendix 6 on how the money was spent. Remedial measure, just below the table, management will endeavor to expedite all processes relating to the implementation of CDF components within their variable funds. Appendix 2.1, unspent funds, community projects. Management response, cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on unspent funds on community projects amounting to 2.9 million 11,493 kwacha. Management wishes to state that at the time of audit, there were contracts which were still active and unspent funds were committed for the same projects. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the community projects that were still running at the time of audit have been completed. We can refer this to Appendix 7. A remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite all processes relating to the implementation of OCDF components within their variable funds. We move on, Chair, to Appendix 2.2, unspent funds empowerment grants. Cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on unspent funds on empowerment grants. The negative variance of 874,490 kwacha were funds for grants under 2022 CDF, which were only spent in 2023. As a result of funds being received towards the end of the last quarter of 2022. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the money brought forward from 2022 CDF were spent in 2023. We can refer this to Appendix 8. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite all processes in the implementation of OCDF component within their variable of funds. We move on to Appendix 2.4, secondary boarding and skills development, bursary. Cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on the unspent funds on secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. The unspent funds were the savings realized from the secondary boarding school and the skills bursary component. Chair, the action taken here, management wishes to state that the council sought for authority from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to vary secondary boarding school and skills development bursary component in order to procure school desks. We can refer this to Appendix 9. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to expedite all processes in the implementation of OCDF components within the available funds. Appendix 2.5, unspent funds, administrative costs. On the management response, the cause of the query here, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on the unspent funds on administrative component. Management wishes to state that the negative variance was as a result of funds brought forward from 2022, which were only spent in 2023 during monitoring of the 2022 CDF projects, which were being implemented in 2023. Action taken, Chair, here. Management wishes to state that part of the funds under the 2022 CDF administrative component were spent in 2023 while implementing 2022 CDF projects. We can refer to Appendix 10. Our remedial measure on this one, Chair, management will endeavor to expedite all processes in the implementation of all CDF components within the available funds. Appendix 5, analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Cause of the query. Chair, management wishes to acknowledge auditor's observation made on the analysis that 100% of funds were disbursed to beneficiaries. Action taken. Management wishes to state that all the funds under the empowerment grant component were dispersed to all the approved beneficiaries for the year 2023, achieving 100% disbursement efficiency. Chair, we can refer this one to Appendix 11. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to disperse 100% of funds to all approved beneficiaries. Appendix 8, performance analysis, soft loans. Cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on the balance for soft loans. However, the negative variance was as a result of funds for soft loans under 2022 CDF, which were only spent in 2023, amounting to 1.9,069,800 kwacha. The funds were funded in quotas under 2022 CDF funding, which affected the disbursement of the last quarters. Chair, management wishes to state that measures have been put in place to ensure that payment for soft loans are paid within their payment period, and all the beneficiaries were paid in full. On the remedial measure here, Chair, management will endeavor to expedite processes in the implementation of all CDF components within the available funds. Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Cause of query. The management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation made on failure to recover loans. The failure, Chair, was caused due to the non-adherence to non-repayments by the beneficiaries as provided for in the CDF guidelines, even after several follow-ups. Action taken. management wishes to state that the council had written letters to 4 beneficiaries and they have since started paying back. Further, the council took the matter to court, to the court of law, who issued summons to all 4 beneficiaries. A remedial measure, Chair, on this one, management will endeavor to constantly remind and engage loan beneficiaries on the need to repay loans without delay, as this may compel the council to take the matter to the courts of law. Appendix 10, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query. Chair, management wishes to acknowledge auditor's observation made on the number of CDF-sponsored beneficiaries under the secondary boarding and skills development bursary, where only 170 out of 200 students and 29 out of 286 pupils graduated. Chair, the variance was due to the number of students and pupils who were still doing their programs, while others had not completed their secondary education. Action taken, Chair, on this one, management wishes to state that the total number of graduates under skills development has increased from 170 to 197 out of 200, while the total number of graduates under the secondary boarding school bursaries has increased from 29 to 115 out of 286. The remaining 3 students, each doing 3-year diploma courses under the skills development bursary, are completing in 2025, while the remaining 171 pupils under the secondary bursary are still in school. We can as well refer this one to Appendix 13. The remedial measure, management will endeavor to continue monitoring all sponsored pupils and students under CDF. Chair, this marks the end of my submission.
But it marks the beginning of our interaction. I thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable members, we can now ask points of clarifications. Honorable member from Fumbwe, you can start, then the Vice Chair, then Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and CS, I would like to thank you for your submission. I take you to page 8. Management of soft loans, delayed loan repayments. According to the submission here and the query, 4 loan beneficiaries received an amount of 318,297, and they had not started paying, and your council, they had delayed for a period of 5 months, and the funds, from the time when the funds were disbursed, and further, you didn't charge them 2% penalty for delayed loan repayment, as shown on the table. Now, you have said you couldn't actually charge them the 2% for default because there was no money in the account. And then I wanted to find out from you, did you need to wait for the money to show in the account in order for you to pay, to charge them the 2% for default? Or why didn't you get the money? If you did you get it? Did you charge them? You have told us actually that now this time around you've taken them to court and they have started paying. What is the current position? Was the 2% charged? And if it was charged, how much did each and everyone pay for the 5 months that they defaulted?
CS.
Thank you, Chair. That's a very good question, Chair. The 2% is charged automatically by the bank. So immediately the money is deposited, the 2% is deducted from the money that has been that has been deposited in the account. So the payment so far made, the 2% has been recovered by the bank.
Vice Chair.
Page 6, Chair. Project installation of street lights. Mine, I think, is just a quick question to find out on the project scope, where there was a change from 300 watts to 500 watts. What was the cost implication? Was there a change in the total cost of this contract? And if so, where are you reporting such a change in this report? Thank you, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. In terms of what was allocated, there was nothing affected except that the change came from the contingent funds in their contract they signed.
Where is it? It came from their contingents, the contractors. Okay, fine.
Yes, Chair.
On the same issue of street lights, you have indicated that the project delayed because of the change from, is it to or from the procurement of the ambulance, which was done centrally. That's why there was delay. Tell us, were these, was it the same project or there are two different projects? The issue of street lights, was it subject to the procurement of the ambulance?
Thank you, Chair. Initially, we had budgeted for the procurement of the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Now there was a communication from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to our council to change the project, since the ambulance was going to be done centrally. Yeah, not in that year, but the following year.
That's why now you decided on this project?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. So the other question on the same page is on the construction of a staff house at Chamandala Primary School. You terminated, or management wishes to state that the project delayed for 3 weeks due to an extension on the initial contract as the result of poor workmanship. At which point did you see the poor workmanship, and what actions you later terminated? Can you refer us to the letters of engagement between yourselves as a council and the contractor at Chamandala? Were there any engagements in terms of writing to state? So we can refer us to the appendix that talks about your letters of engagement and the response from the contractor. Besides that, you can show us at the time of termination the final account with that particular contractor before you procured another one.
Thank you, Chair. We can go to Appendix 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can read.
Let me ask the Director, Chair, to take us through the attachments.
Okay, Director.
Thank you, Chair. This specific project, the poor workmanship was noticed on the slab level, and there is a site instruction that was given to the contractor on Appendix 2. There is site instruction number 1, where after we did the monitoring, our routine monitoring and inspection, we told them, and we also put it in writing, to remove sections of the slab which was affected.
Before termination, you have to engage. When you noticed those weaknesses, you have to put it in writing. Did you terminate verbally? If you wrote to that particular contractor, do you have any evidence to show that you wrote and he responded, acknowledging the omissions or weaknesses on his part to do a good job?
Chair, this is not a terminated project.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Then on the issue of, on page 8, delayed repayment of loans. I've seen your appendix, I don't know if it's appendix 4. These people started paying these loans after you wrote to them. And you wrote in September 2024. Before then, they were not paying anything. You slapped 2% interest, is it interest or whatever penalty for them not paying. Until you wrote to them, they started paying. Why did you delay to write to them until September 2024? 2, how much have you recovered from them to date?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. We were engaging them in writing. Even after writing to them several times, they could not respond. This is the reason why we were compelled to even take them to court.
I've not acknowledged the writing. The only writing I have, maybe show me another one. This 4th September 2024. There's another letter or other letters? I just want to appreciate.
Yes, Chair, there are other letters.
Okay. Dated?
Chair, so we have the other letters dated 10th December, and even after writing those,
appendix?
On the same appendix, you notice that after the 3rd September letters, the second set of letters is dated 10th December, and even after issuing
I want to move
those,
slowly with you.
Yes.
Immediately
after 3rd September,
DPO,
there is 10th December.
DPO, be calm. You are just on course. You are just okay, but just engage so that we follow each other. The letters I've seen is the 3rd September, non-repayment of loan. After that one?
Thank you, Chair. After that one, the one that follows is 10th December.
Which year?
In the same year.
And
so, Chair, even after issuing those, they couldn't respond, so we now had to do demand notices.
I'm agreeing with you. My question is, why did it take you long to write to them up to September 2024? These loans are for the year 2023, and the 4 cooperatives or companies were not paying. You started writing to them in September 2024, and after 2024 September, you wrote other letters in December. Those are late, but I'll take the latest, September. Why did you delay to write to them after being audited? When were you audited?
The same month, September.
So after the audit, that is when now you started writing to them. And immediately you did that, they started paying. That's what we have been informed. Why did it take you that period? And yet we have been informed somewhere that you do monitoring and the other engagements.
Thank you, Chair.
Just an
Just hold on. We want to have
just an addition. Yes, we realized that you were audited in September 2024, which is 9 months from January. So are you able to share when you dispersed this money to these people? When did you disperse it? Because like my chair is asking, we are wondering as to why, if the auditors didn't pass through, there is a possibility that you are not going to write to them. Because we had already lost 9 months. So when did you disperse this money?
Chair.
Yes, sir. Page 8.
There's a table on page 8.
Yes.
Yes. Page 8 table.
Yeah, on the date of loan issued, the second column there, after the column for the serial number.
Yes, it's December 2023.
December 2023.
Yes, so the question stands, why did it take you 9 months to start, because like the chair is saying, you only started writing to them after September. So we are wondering from December.
Your mic should be off until I guide you.
What is the guidance on the same? Are you not supposed to disperse? Then after 3 months, these people are supposed to pay. But it has taken us 9 months.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. I totally agree with you. Chair, if you look at the number of beneficiaries that are giving us a challenge, they are just 4.
And these are the ones we're asking.
You know, the audit, they will come into your district CS. You dispersed these monies to 200 applicants or beneficiaries, 200 of them. But if 2 are not paying, those are the ones that you go for. In the Bible, they say they follow the lost, isn't it?
So, CS, answer that.
Yeah. Chair, monitoring, the report is attached, the monitoring report is attached to this report. We did monitor all the loan beneficiaries, except, Chair, for the 4 that gave us challenges. Others responded positively. Yes, we admit they started paying late, and we wrote to them late. I admit that, Chair.
Yes. Bonus one, Chair. Yes, we have no problem. Okay, absolutely no problem that people have been paying from the time they are supposed to start paying. But what our query was, why are these 4 groups so special that you could not touch them? I know you went there, you were sensitizing them, we were talking to them, but you realized that these 4 were not doing that. Are they our relatives? But I get your response that yes, you admit, because I think that's the noble thing. That yes, there was a lapse on this. Otherwise, we are supposed to be hard on them. If others were paying maybe for 5-6 months, why should they be on standby? Thank you.
Yes, on the same. Let me read them. I like reading them, their names, and so for the public, most of these are people could be following. And why I'm doing that is to answer what Honorable Mulunda is asking, to help you. You have so many applicants. Others, you follow them, they pay. These 4, you follow them, or maybe you didn't follow them, they are not paying. The auditors, they come. The time the auditors come, that's when we say, no, we have no option. You people, we have to write you. And the moment you wrote, because auditors were there, then that's when they started paying. How special are these? I want to read these companies. The first company of written is Kinma General Dealers. They wanted to venture in meat processing. They were given 103,490. For 5 months, they didn't pay anything. The other is Prince Misho. they wanted to venture in oil processing. They got 100,000. The other one is Tipunzile Women's Development Group, poultry. The other one is Italo Foundation Enterprise. What is special with these? That even if you follow them, they didn't have any sense of wanting to pay. Until auditors came and said, but why are these four not paying? That's when you wrote them. And immediately you wrote to them, they started paying. The other question is, how much so far to date have they paid? Or immediately after audit, they will stop paying? CS and the team.
Chair, let me ask the Director Planning to come in.
Director Planning.
Thank you, Chair. So for these particular 4 beneficiaries, Chair, it took a little bit of time for them to procure the equipment, for them to start implementing the project. And that is why, even at the point when the auditors came, the auditors were notified of that fact. And we had to give them a little bit of time for example, the one with the oil processing, for the machine to reach Chadiza, it took time. So even the bank, we had to engage them to say, because the 60 days that was given for them to start deducting the finances, they couldn't, because they had not yet started operating. Thank you, Chair.
Director, before I ask Honorable Murunda, according to what I know, unless you guide me, CS, with your team, such equipment or machinery, they are normally bought by the council, and the letter of ownership is kept by the council until repayment of the loan. That's what I know. That's what my council tells me. And my council, they even go to procure to Saro. On behalf, they go with this. They go to procure and they retain the papers. Is it the same in Chadiza? That you just give them money at their own time, they would do whatever they feel? Secondly, is, if that is the case, if that is not the case, what was your role in explaining what you have just said to the auditors when they came? No, sir, this cooperative, it is not their fault, because they just procured this oil expirer last week. You are the ones who engaged, and as DPO, did you do that when the auditors came? CS and the team. Okay, Honorable Munda, just
in addition to exactly what you have asked the chairperson, the auditors came to your office, Madam DPO, and you sat down with them. This genuine, seemingly genuine response you are giving us, you brought the papers to them. Auditors, these people, instead of them procuring the machines or getting this, we're only giving them maybe in April or in May, and these are the documents. In your opinion, do you think they would have sustained the query after giving them that evidence? Secondly, are you able to provide us with the evidence, maybe from the procurement, when these machines actually were procured, so that we settle the matter? Is that possible? Thank you very much.
CS and your team, those queries.
Thank you, Chair. On the purchase of equipment, we follow the CDF guidelines. The equipment is supposed to be procured by the beneficiary himself, but they have to follow the CDF guidelines as they procure. They submit quotations to the council indicating where they would want to procure that item from. and that item has to be procured in the name of the institution. The money is not paid to the beneficiary. It's paid to the supplier through our loan account at the bank. So it's the council in short that pays to the supplier. And that equipment is registered in the name of the council. It is on the registration, the ownership is only changed after finishing paying back the loan. This is how it is done, similar with what is happening in CHASEFU.
We are very happy. Can you educate your DPO? Because the DPO said these people delayed to procure, when the derailment was caused by the council. And the monitoring is the council, that whatever you disburse as loans, it is procured or done on time. And your procurement team is involved. They get the quotation. The way you have explained, this is what we know. So the derailment is partly 90% or 95% to do with yourselves. The other questions, when the auditors came, why didn't you show them that information? That it was your issue, so that they could drop the query?
Chair, even when auditors came, they still delayed to start paying. The delay was still there. That's why it was picked as a query, Chair.
Chair, the question is, yes, if they delayed is fine. But the question the chairperson is asking, did you show them the documents? Because when they came, they realized these four are not paying. So did you produce the documents? Say, no, actually these people, they have not even started paying. And these are the documents, because we procured as a local authority. And we have the documents in our custody. So we understand them fully why they are not paying, because we delayed in terms of procurement. Did you show them the documents so that at least they would also understand why? They would understand why those four are outstanding. And just like the chairperson has said, partly because we had to blame as a council, because maybe we delayed in procuring for them. But did we produce the document to convince them that no, don't worry about these that are not paying, because we delayed, so partly we are to blame. Did you do that, sir? Or do you have those documents? Because when you realize that there is a query for 4 clubs or 4 cooperatives, then you know that this committee would go deeper to ask even the procurement process and the documentation, so that they rest the matter.
Chair, thank you so much. Even after showing Auditor General documents, these people still more did not start paying.
No, you don't understand the question. Let me put it this way. The DPO indicated to say these people delayed to start paying, partly because they delayed to procure what they were supposed to procure as beneficiaries. That's what she said. They delayed to do that. So if that was the case, we established that the delay was not with the beneficiary. The delay to procure these machinery or whatever was to do with the council, because the council is the one which pays the supplier. You got that point? So if the council delayed to pay the supplier, the council is the one which was involved with the auditors. When the auditors came to your office, you should have vouched for these 4 beneficiaries to say, auditor, yes, we acknowledge, but we want to stand for these people. They did not pay because we are responsible. We did not procure these things for them, despite them identifying the suppliers for what they want to do. We follow what the planner was telling us. So did you do that? Besides, it is just to show you, even if we interrogate you, we're not going to get the answer. You neglected to do your issue, because these were not the only ones. There were other applicants who procured and you are paying. You get my point? So it's an indictment on your part, the entire team. So the answer you're giving may not be the case. As we wind up, Dr. Manza, do you have anything?
Yes, thank you, Chair. We're page 5.
Let's go to page 5.
Oh, page 4, sorry. I'll summarize the question. It's very clear. This is about delayed completion of girls' dormitory at Kalemba. Kalemba Day Secondary School, page 5, yes. Kalemba Day Secondary School.
Yes, Kalemba Day's delayed completion.
Yes, of Kalemba Day Secondary School, girls' hostel. There were 2 contractors that involved. One, Cholinga Contractors, whose contract was terminated on 3rd March 2024. And then the second contractor, Solovere, is the one who completed the project. So the questions I have is, what was the outstanding work? What were the outstanding work at the time of terminating the contract for the first contractor? Then, Appendix 1, there is a contract between the first contractor and the council, contract for the construction of a girls' dormitory. Apparently there are no page numbers, so I think we can guess. I guess we can find it. It is on Appendix 1, a contract document. The form of agreement is showing the contract price is 481,443 kwacha 35 ingwe. That is a contract price for the first contractor, Cholinga Contractors, and at termination he was paid 210,737, which is basically 44% of the contract price. Now the second contractor, Solovele, his contract price, the contract is also attached on Appendix 1. His contract price is 446,208 kwacha. When I look at the application to PLGO, when you are applying for this project for approval, which you have attached the conveyance notification, the project on the completion of girls' dormitory at Kalemba Day Secondary School at a cost of 175,000 kwacha. This is what PLGO approved the cost of completing this Kalemba Day Secondary School. But when I see the contract that was signed on 6th November 2024 between Solovele and the council, his contract price is 446,208. Why did you go against the decision of PLGO, who authorized you from your own application? You applied to PLGO to give authority to go ahead with this project at a certain amount, and he accepted. But then, engaging a contractor, you signed for 446. Where did you get the top up? Because the first project closed at 210,737, leaving a balance of 270,746. But when you signed the contract with the second contractor, it went up to 446, which was 175,000 above your limit. Thank you.
CS.
Thank you, Chair. That's a very good observation, Chair. What we requested from PLGO was additional funding. If we look at the difference, the money that remained after termination is about 200,000 plus. Then we add the 170, which which was approved by the POGO, it is giving us 400,000 plus. This is the reason why the contract was signed at 400 at this amount. I submit, Chair.
Doc, okay. If it is that, yes, I've done the calculation. Now, it means it was additional 175,000 kwacha that you applied to a PLOGO, but the summary from the application, the correspondence does not indicate something. It does not indicate that it is you are applying for additional funding. It is just, you can check the letters from the PLOGO. It says completion of girls' dormitory at the Kalemba Day Secondary School at a cost of 175,000 kwacha. Okay, but then where did you get the, what motivated the increase in the cost for this particular dormitory?
Thank you, Chair.
Because the first contractor, whose contract was terminated, you even charged liquidated damages. So it means that you with you charged almost, I think, yes, maximum amount of liquidated damages. So what aspect of the project changed to have the project increased to 175,000 kwacha?
CS? Chair, let me ask Director Engineering to come in.
Director.
Thank you, Chair. For the question that has been asked, when you look at page 3, on the time when the Auditor General came to audit this specific project, the remaining works were plastering, flooring, metalworks, grazing, painting, and external works. In the new contract, which caused an increase also, was due to the fact that we included bunker beds. And also the pictures that we've provided as evidence. You see that the last picture on Appendix 1, if you go there, you'll see 2 pictures on top there, which are indicating the structure, which has been complete, and also there are also bunker beds that were included in the new contract.
Do we have a variation order?
Yes, now that you
just that, Doc, just mine is bullet. Do you have a variation order to include the scope like bunker beds and the CDF minutes?
We do not have a variation order because it was not needed. The bunker beds were included in the BOQ for the other contract. That's the reason why we asked for additional funds, which was granted, 175.
Wait a minute. Doc, hold on. Wait a minute. The first contract included bunker beds?
No, it did not, unless the second contract.
The second contract included bunker beds. So it was rescoped. It was not a completion, it was rescoped. Yes or no?
It was a completion with additional works.
When you call additional works, is that rescoping?
Yes, it is.
But you are not answering my question. I'm a layman, you are a technical person. Was it rescoped? Yes, it was rescoped because it was departing from the area scope that was to complete. Correct?
Chair, we can consider it in that manner, as you've explained.
Now, from a layman's point, you made additions. Additions which were not there. Did you get the blessings or authority from the CDF committee? And also, did you cost that for the authority to make addition and the bunker beds to cost that much? Do you have the evidence of the variation? Because you are varying from the area scope. This was a completion. The scope of this project was like this. You include this and that and that. Then it was terminated with all the charges. Then it was supposed to be completed by another, but you added bunker beds. In my layman's understanding is that there was a variation to it. If that is the case, did you get an authority? Do we have any or such a thing that you can guide us? If not, how do you call that in your technical language or terms when you make additions to the area, to the original scope?
Thank you, Chair. When we made the addition to the original scope, we also wrote the provincial government office attaching whatever was added to the new scope. And the matter followed the procedure reporting to procurement committee. Because the authority comes from procurement committee.
Correct.
It is within my
So it is there with us?
The minutes.
Yeah. CDF committee first. Of the CDF committee.
Yes, it was reported to the CDF committee.
We have which appendix?
No, Chair, we didn't attach the CDF minutes to the report.
As I conclude, those are serious omissions that you are making. You are supposed to do the correct thing. If you come to this committee, you say it had approval without showing evidence, then that is not taken. We are evidence-based committee. These they look simple. There is one council on the copper belt that we are using administrative cost to procure without authority from any organ. CDF committee, nothing. They would do that. Now, that is the worry of this committee or the auditors and the government. The guidelines are very clear. Anything that you do, you should seek authority so that you document it. Anything that you do in councils is documented. You put up a minute that you refer to, a date and a minute. This organ, CDF committee, is the main organ that is supposed to authorize you to do the same. Not even the procurement. You cannot go to procurement without going through the CDF committee. So that is an omission on your part. So, it is not with us. Do you have it? Maybe tell us. I don't want to sound unfair. Do you have the minute?
Chair, probably I explained the procedure. We do not attach the minutes to the report. Before submitting to the POGO, we attach the signed minutes by CDFC committee. The POGO cannot approve or cannot give authority without attached minutes. So all the minutes were attached when submitting to the POGO, the 175 that came, together with the BOQ. So we had gotten first authority from the CDFC committee, and then attached the minutes to the letter we wrote to the POGO.
The way this committee operates is we ask you to submit even an addendum. We can't believe a story. If that was the case, we are supposed to have phoned you. And we don't want to come to this committee to come to detail you that we question some of these. The only way we can prove that is you show us. So as at now, we have no basis. And I'm telling you, with the council on the copper belt, I don't want to mention that. If you play our recording, there's a council spending administrative component of the CDF. So we know what we're talking about. So we can't argue. They have interest. They wanted to ask a question. No, Chair.
But what I wanted the Chair to say is that CSS, they have the procedure for PLG and all those things. But here we have our procedure. Yes. And we are simply asking you, what you want to CSC is to give us this. Not that they can't do it the other way around, the other side. But sir, what we are asking here, please don't lecture us. Give us what we are asking so that we move together. Yes, others wouldn't mind, but here we mind. I think that's what the Chair is belaboring. So let's be on the same page. Whatever you can do others somewhere there, but the guidance here is that we also need this so that when we write our report, us want even maybe we are quoting in the minute, you don't know how we report. Thank you. I wanted to put it like that.
Thank you very much. That was my concluding remarks, that you should put your house in order. Here we don't rely on hearsay. We rely on evidence. This you produce, this you produce. That's what we depend on. So you pick lessons from this. Then the other observations on the loan repayment, you are not doing very well. And you know the guidance very well than us. You are supposed to procure all the things that those people who suggest using the quotations. But you are not doing that. Then you want to come here and blame the people that no, actually they delayed because they failed to procure when it is your part. And this goes to all the councils. We are aware about what is happening, and we have examples that are doing that. So can you do your work? Monitoring of projects is a very big issue in Chadiza. If you don't monitor projects, you will not see successful utilization of CDF, because the contractors will be doing something wrong, delayed cancellation of projects or termination of projects because of shoddy works. That can only be done away with if you monitor the projects. And the government has given you a vehicle to be monitoring those projects. So many things we have observed. And we appeal to you, if you have any challenges, go to Kafue. Don't feel shy. Go and learn from them, even call them. They've become a model of a council that is doing very well in project monitoring. They didn't have any issue on the projects. It's on cross-cutting issues, even there. So we have councils which have demonstrated. You can equally do the same. So go back and put your house in order. That is why you are employed. To CDF, it's not a by the way function of the council. It's a main function. Simplified, they have given you money. Can you do this? That which the original purpose of the council has been restored now. So it's you to do that. So I want to wish you well as you go back. Immunity is withdrawn. Go and put your house in order. From now on, you are on your own. Thank you very much for enduring the time. As we work at the same, no extra cost, no extra benefit, but for the country. Up to this time, we are still sitting because we love our country and we want you to do the correct things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
And that's the last witness for today. Chadiza Town Council making an appearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and it was flanked by Mr. David Mwansa, who's the Council Secretary. Before we go and look at the councils that made an appearance before this committee, in the morning just after 9:30 we did have Chongwe Municipal Council, and it was led by Namwinga Chibesa, who's the acting Chongwe Municipal Council Secretary. We also had Chilanga Town Council making an appearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and it was led by Mr. Francis Ndola, who is the Council Secretary. We also had CHASEFU Town Council making an appearance, and was flanked by Mr. Kennedy Walia, who is the Council Secretary for CHASEFU Town Council. And lastly, like you have just watched, we had Chadiza Town Council, and that marks the end of the councils that we are making an appearance today. Remember, we're here tomorrow starting at 9:30 as more councils appear before the Committee of Local Government Accounts, as the committee scrutinizes the utilization of constituency development funds. Until tomorrow, it's bye-bye.